Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the formal ceremonies, I must request that our parents and guests remain in their seats and, as a courtesy to the rest of the spectators, leave the aisles clear so that all can see. Each graduate will be photographed twice, individually, upon crossing the stage, and you will have wonderful memories of today, I assure you. Welcome to the graduation of the class of 1992. As a result of yesterday's Supreme Court decision declaring unconstitutional the participation of members of the clergy in graduation ceremonies, and on the advice of counsel, there will not be an invocation or benediction as part of today's program. We wish to apologize to Rabbi Beth Singer and Reverend Robert McLennan for any inconvenience this decision has caused them, and to thank them for having been prepared to participate. And now, please rise as Gurian Manber leads us in the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Please be seated.
Dr. Hipschman, Mrs. Fox, faculty, families, friends, and the wonderful class of 1992. It's my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Board of Education to the 75th Scarsdale High School graduation ceremony. You're a very special class. You've made a distinct mark on this high school scholastically, athletically, and your participation in community service and school governance. For me personally, you are a special class, since I too graduate with you. Speaking here will be my last action as a member of the Board of Education. You would not be here today without the support, guidance, and patience of your parents and teachers. Please join me in a round of applause to salute them. It is customary for board members to use this opportunity to encourage graduates to volunteer, to care for the less fortunate, to test your wings, to remember those of us you leave behind. I concur with all of that. My message today is somewhat different. I am here to encourage you to become informed citizens and to play an active role in the political process. That wasn't quite what I had in mind. Your class knows how to do it. You have made a positive difference in the governance of our schools and in school board deliberations by your attendance and participation at our meetings, and your study and comments on the budget and the gift policy. Bashing the political power process and politicians is fashionable today. Don't be deceived. Being a public official is an honorable profession. Working for one is an honorable pursuit. Both are essential if our democracy is to survive and to flourish. Many avenues are open to you. Explore them all. One is student government on college campuses. Become involved at all levels of government. Don't accept rhetoric or answers presented in 15-second sound bites. Study the issues. Ask the tough questions. Use your considerable intelligence to determine who has the best solution and deserves your support and your vote. Become involved in campaigns and help fashion those best solutions. Then support the candidates of your choice with your time, your intelligence, and your heart. Consider public service as a career. All individuals we know can make a difference, but individuals in government determine public policy and pass laws. You can be one of those individuals if you have the will. For those of you who are citizens of other countries, take what you have learned about democracy and apply it when you return to your native countries. In conclusion, whatever you do in the years ahead, I urge you to care, to risk, to dream, and to expect. Care more than others think is wise. Risk more than others think is safe. Dream more than others think is practical. Expect more than others think is possible. And always leave room for fun and laughter. Good luck and our very best wishes. Thank you.
It's tradition for a member of the Board of Education who has a senior to be asked to speak at graduation. Today, I'd like to talk to you not as a member of the board, but as a parent. This week, I watched the school cable station retrospective of your class when we were young. I've been privileged to know many of you. You have always been a class known for its warmth and caring. You have given us, your parents, much satisfaction over these past 18 years. As I look back on those many years, I think of all the mothering I have done. Do you remember there was a time when you thought we, your parents, were perfect? We were taller than you. We towered over you. There was a time when we thought you were perfect. You were cute, cuddly, and could do no wrong. Going through the teenage years is a wonderful equalizer. We realize that you need to make mistakes, though it may be painful for all of us, and perhaps more disappointing to you and troublesome to us. Sometimes we fail you when you need us the most. But at this point in all our developments, we can admit that none of us is perfect. We won't always give the right answers, assuming there is one. And more times than we'd like to consider, you won't even come to us to ask. However, we hope you know that we are here for you, no matter what. I wish for you health and happiness, a life filled with the pleasures of success and the contentment of knowing you've achieved something you didn't think possible. I hope your children will give you as much pleasure as you have given us. I wish for us, your parents, the privilege of having you use us as a sounding board to discuss your problems or even just to vent your feelings. I wish for all of us the understanding that none of us is perfect, but I hope you carry with you the knowledge that we are here for you with our love and support. Congratulations. You make us very proud. And don't forget to call.
Hi, everyone. It all starts back at the end of freshman year. We're about to float to that huge, empty vortex that is the beginning of the rest of our lives. Floating alone, that is, until...
Riding out of the sunset comes Bruce Henry, ready and willing to guide us through the next 3 years of our career at Scarsdale High School.
Whether you first met Mr. Henry half asleep in his freshman math class,
Or maybe through government or probably at one of the class activities because you were all there. Whatever. No, seriously, most of you probably met him through the play rehearsals. He was there pretty much every night from 7 to 5. He inspired us to work hard to put on such a great show. He was there to tell us to clean up.
You know, that says all about Mr. Henry. He was there before we got there. He left after we'd all gone home to do our math homework. And you know, he's always worked so hard. He did everything we asked him to do. He did more than we asked him to do. He was always everything the senior class has done. You know, Mr. Henry was behind it all.
And this is our chance to thank Mr. Henry and to show him our appreciation for everything that he's given us, because he's never asked for anything back for all that he's put into our class.
So here we bring to you
Mr.
a
Bruce
great
Henry.
advisor,
Sorry.
Mr. Henry.
Thank you very much for those kind words. I'm not sure I deserve all of them, but certainly it's been my pleasure to work with the class of '92. It's kind of hard to talk to people without an overhead projector right here to work on, but I'll risk it anyways. To members of the Board of Education, Dr. Hipschman, faculty, parents, family, and friends, on behalf of the senior class, I thank you for attending today's ceremony to honor the class of 1992. As class advisor, I have been most fortunate to work with a group that I and my colleagues consider to be extremely talented. Their accomplishments in the classroom, on our athletic fields, and in the community are well documented. All of us take great pride in what they have achieved and are confident that they will continue to do the same in the future. Let's see, it says here in my notes I'm supposed to tell my first joke. All right, here it is. First joke. How many members of the class of '92 does it take to replace a burned out light bulb, and how long?
2 people, 2 years.
Jamie, West Side Story is over. And I'm sorry, but that answer is wrong. You know, in Scarsdale, when you want to do something, you have to form a committee to study the situation. Let's say a committee of 3. Now, there are 303 seniors in the class, so how many committees of 3 can be selected from a group of 303 students? Now, I'm pretty sure I got everybody stumped on that one. Oh, I forgot that Dan Vogel was with us. He happens to be right. Well, thanks for killing my joke, Dan. Actually, I was going to use the light bulb as a symbol and eventually work my way around to delivering some sort of inspirational message, but I think I'll leave that to our next speaker. I prefer to reminisce a little bit. I have been advisor to the class of '92 for 3 years. Our time together has been fun and rewarding for me. I would also add that the journey has been swift. It seems like just yesterday that I was loading Steve Raises into a cannon or dropping him from an airplane without a parachute. Obviously, I didn't know that Mrs. Raises would be here today as a member of the Board of Education. Somehow he survived, and so did I. Together we moved forward to Jones Beach lip syncs, barbecues, the ever-popular homecoming dance, Super Bowl heroes, West Side Story, and of course now today, graduation. Recently, I have been asked questions like, are you glad it's over? Was it worthwhile? Would you do it again? These questions were intended to boost my spirits as well as acknowledge that being class advisor is a difficult task. I responded in predictable fashion. Yes, yes, maybe, for those keeping score. The following question, however, I could not answer immediately. I was asked, what makes this class so special? I really didn't have an answer right away, so I've thought about it since then, and I believe the answer is that the class of '92 has great unity and school spirit. I consulted my esteemed colleague Bob Arrigo, who ranked class spirit in the 100th percentile, which means, of course, that you are as good as or better than all classes that preceded you. I agree wholeheartedly. You brought back the radio station and gave us the Bandy Brothers, Peter Gross and James Stammer. With these two dancing on the sidelines and Gurr doing the national anthem, how could we lose our basketball tournament? Of course we didn't. Less conspicuous, but just as important, the class officers, house reps, the cabinet, the prom committee, the senior class play directors have worked very hard to make this school year a success. Norma, are you awake over there? I just wanted to thank you for all those 7:30 a.m. mornings when we had to meet in my room to do business. I want you to know that I've called Cornell and arranged for you to have several 8 a.m. classes next year. One of them on Saturday, and that will be Calculus XYZ. Whenever I worked with a group of seniors, I was impressed by their enthusiasm, genuine concern for each other, and unselfish attitude. The last time I stood here, I think it was right about over there, I retired as football coach. I can't begin to describe my feelings at the time. I can say, however, that what bothered me the most was the anticipated loss of contact and appreciation for working with students outside the classroom. The class of '92 brought that back to me, especially during their work in preparation for the senior class play. The class worked for 2.5 months to prepare for West Side Story. Teachers assigned to chaperone rehearsals were impressed with your supportive attitude of each other and desire to excel. Those who watched you perform could sense the class spirit that I spoke of earlier. I myself cried a little Thursday night because I was so proud. Applauded with my family Friday night and agonized over Saturday night pranks. Did I really say, whatever you do, keep the language clean and your clothes off? I did. Judy, do you really want me to advise another class after all of that? Well, I'll do it if you can promise to deliver another class like '92. Thank you.
Years from now, when we sit down with our children, showing them our old yearbooks and reminiscing with them about our 4 years at Scarsdale High, we will undoubtedly forget many of the aspects of Scarsdale which now stand out as foremost in our minds. We will somehow forget the numerous weekends spent learning vocabulary words and studying for the SATs. We will probably overlook the times when we managed to pry our eyelids open until the wee hours of the morning, having neglected to start a paper until the midnight before it was due. And the drudgery of turning out college essays in an attempt to capture the essence of our lives in a page, while at the same time trying to show the college admissions office the unique qualities that we have, will seem so far away in our minds that we will almost question its existence. The endless 12-minute runs dreaded so in gym class will evade us, and we will not even think to mention what we once saw as tedious, relentless, inescapable hours spent in the music tower, as we, as underclassmen, were forced to spend our free periods in that confining place. When we look back on our 4 years here, however, what we will not have forgotten will be our teachers. We'll smile, remembering the teachers who are special to each of us, the ones who taught us much more than the mere course material, who through advice and anecdotes, and through expressing their opinions, also taught us about life. We'll remember the teachers who spent countless hours with us, skipping their lunch periods and free time in order to help us with schoolwork and out-of-school problems, and the ones who so obviously loved their students and courses to such an extent that their eyes would sparkle during each lesson. Teachers like these created excitement in learning and expanded our focus well beyond the day's assignments. And they bestowed upon us the love they had for their subject. English teacher Paul Sheehy embodies all of these descriptions. As reads the dedication to him in this year's Vanderstash, our school yearbook, quote, "As he playfully torments you, twists apart your life and your character analysis, you fall in love, rejuvenated, as the Great One convinces you that life is a literary puzzle, never straightforward, usually romantic, and always with a happy ending. He is both teacher and student, sprite and sage, advisor and friend." Mr. Sheehy is one such teacher that none of us will forget in the years ahead. We will refer to him when telling our children about our favorite teachers, and about what we valued most during our high school years. As co-editor-in-chief of this year's yearbook, I have shared in the excitement of dedicating the 1992 Bandersnatch to him. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today, Sheesh, the great one, Mr. Paul Sheesh.
I'm never going to be able to live up to Allison's introduction. But Dr. Hipsman, members of the administration, the Board of Education, parents, guests, and most of all, the class of 1992, I thank you for giving me the chance to speak to you on this, your graduation day. June is not the cruelest month, nor is April, by the way. My focus is January. But, June evokes the most ambivalence. By the way, the literary illusion was to prove to you that I am an English teacher. You who are young look forward to the end of this speech, most certainly, to walking across this platform, to the celebration and the proms that will follow. Older, I look back. Most people can tell you where they were when they heard that the Challenger exploded, or that John F. Kennedy had been shot. Catastrophes, crises, are the landmarks, the signposts of our past. One of the most vivid impressions of my childhood was a double issue of Life magazine devoted to fallout shelters. All afternoon I pored over the text, studied the pictures, compared the designs. Sitting that night at dinner, I insisted that my father dig up the backyard and construct the model I decided best suited our family's needs. Inexplicably, he answered no. 4 years later, October 1962, I still lamented his failure to heed my pleas. Maureen Keefe, the girl across the street, and I sat on the stoop and discussed the imminent end of the world. Recalling that issue of Life, I wondered how my father could be so unreasonable. Another 4 years passed, and lo and behold, the world had not ended. I was sitting, figuratively at least, where you are sitting now. My anxiety had expanded geographically, extending many miles beyond Cuba and its departed missiles. Recent events had sent me to the Atlas to locate the Gulf of Tonkin. I now knew Vietnam was one word, not two. Had you told me at any of these moments that within my lifetime the Russian president would stand before a joint session of Congress and call upon God to bless America, all but proclaiming himself a Yankee Doodle dandy, and I would have shaken my head in disbelief. The half-life of crises is notoriously brief. Yesterday's headlines, tomorrow's footnotes. Meanwhile, today's crises scream in bold-face from a front page. Recently, the New York Times profiled several graduating classes, including one at Horace Greeley. A dominant theme emerged. Students were worried about the state of society, about racial injustice, economic contraction, environmental degradation. But even more, they were worried about their personal futures. Would they make enough money? Would they equal their parents' standard of living? Many seemed to think that their lives were in some sense ending, that the best lay behind, not ahead of them. Understandable. Also a bit sad. Now, this is a topic, downward mobility, of which I have some personal knowledge. After all, I attended Scarsdale High School. Now I teach here. Not that I'm complaining. In the movie Casablanca, Humphrey Bogart claims he came to the desert city for the waters. Challenged that there are no waters in Casablanca, he responds, I was misinformed. I don't claim I went into teaching for the money or that I was misinformed. Rather, I loved literature and language, loved talking about them, as you probably know. Wanted to inspire a similar love in my students. I had some vague notion that I could make the world a better place. These reasons for teaching never changed, but over the years they sometimes felt less compelling. Teaching became less a calling, more sometimes a job. The impossibility of the task daunted. The apparent repetitions, minor nuisances, wearied. What was the point? It was, I suppose you could say, a crisis. One day this year, at the end of the class discussion, students asked if there wasn't anything I preferred doing to teaching. Beachcomber? Ross Perot's running mate? Eric Clapton impersonator? Then one student in the back of the room announced, "Mr. Sheehy is happy doing what he's doing." He was right, though I had nearly forgotten. I was and am doing what I love with those of you I respect and care for, who I hope value my strengths and fortunately understand my weaknesses. And perhaps together we are making the world a better place. I just needed to be reminded. So I thank that student, and most of all, I thank all of you sitting here today for reminding me. What more can I say to you then? You have meant so very, very much to me. I cannot, in all honesty, wish you lives without crises. Some of you will make money, others will not. Each of you will face disappointments and setbacks, endure doubts and second thoughts. But I am not sure that I would wish you crisis-free lives, even if I could. For it is crisis that allows us to find what we never dreamt to find, or to rediscover what we almost lost. The headlines, as usual, are wrong. The whole of your lives, the challenge and fulfillment lies ahead. Indeed, the challenge is the fulfillment. The Chinese, whose ideogram for crisis is also the ideogram for opportunity, know this. So I end by wishing each of you not a life without crisis, but a life in which every crisis means an opportunity. Thank you very much.
Kenneth Rosenberg was a member of the Scarsdale High School class of 1986. He died suddenly on December 24th, 1984, in his junior year. Kenny was known and is remembered for his wisdom, compassion, kindness, fairness, and friendship. The Kenneth Rosenberg Memorial Award is given each year to that graduating senior who best exemplifies these characteristics. The selection is made by the Senior Class Council. Last night, as I sat down to write up the speech for this award, I found that it came out canned and phony. And I realize that's because in life, it's so truly rare to find one person who is so open, so willing to give himself and to others. I've never seen this person without a smile on his face. It's someone who is willing to lend a helping hand, who's always there with a friendly ear to listen to, or just there to hang out with. It has been my honor for the past 4 years to consider this person my friend, to get to know him, to be with him. And it's my privilege now to honor him with the Kenneth Rosenberg Memorial Award. Daniel Clayton, would you please come up?
I want to thank all of you so much for this award. It was the last thing I was expecting sitting down there. I love all you guys a lot. Moving to Scarsdale was a big transition for me, but all of you made it so worthwhile for me. I want to wish you the best in the future. There's so much potential here. It was amazing how, I guess I was surprised. People are just looking at their futures. They're already making plans. And I know that you can accomplish a lot. I want to wish you all the best in the future, and thank you again for this. I'll see you at the prom Saturday night.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to congratulate the class of 1992. Seems that only yesterday was the first day of high school. We were young, naive freshmen. The excitement was temporary, and by the end of our sophomore year, we were all envious of the classes above us who were graduating. Soon, we began counting the days until we would be handed our diplomas. As underclassmen, Scarsdale was a place we couldn't wait to leave. Graduation was inconceivably far away. Now, as seniors, the sadness we feel in leaving our community is greater than we ever imagined. We all have our own views, opinions, and feelings about our years at Scarsdale High School, but the one thing we all will share are the memories we have created together. None of us will ever forget the times we have shared. One memorable experience was our senior class play. With spirit, hard work, and determination, our class came together and put on a spectacular performance of West Side Story. Many thought this play was impossible for students to present, but we proved them wrong, and that is something we'll always be proud of. Throughout the years, we have accomplished many accomplishments, and we could not have reached our goals and dreams without the love, support, and guidance of our teachers, friends, and especially of our families. I'd personally like to thank Bruce Henry, our class advisor, for his dedication and hard work. Another person we should acknowledge is our class president, Norman Young. He has taken his time and energy to give our class a successful senior year. Without Norman, decades of tradition would have been broken when the graduation was to be moved to the county center. Norman has often gone above and beyond duty to make sure that nobody else had to worry, and so that everybody could enjoy their senior year. When things got hectic, I could often hear Norman say, "It's okay, go home, I'll take care of things." He always thought of others first. Norman is one of the most selfless, caring, and dedicated people I know. I would like to take this last chance to say my final goodbye to the class of 1992. Thank you for being a part of my memories and for giving me the chance to represent you. I will cherish my friendships with all of you forever. Thank you and good luck. Now I would like to present our class president, Norman Young.
Hold on a sec while I whip this out. I'm a little nervous. This is my first time, so I'll slowly. So how do you like my prom dress? Cost $18, but I think someone else may have it. So how is everybody today? I really don't care. This is my 3.5 minutes in the spotlight, and no one's going to ruin it. So, I could have decided to use this time for personal attacks on any enemies I've made throughout the years, but I woke up this morning and I was having a good hair day. So, consider yourselves lucky. Instead, I've decided to recap our 4 years of the class of 92. We came in as whimpering, cowering freshmen, searching for the pool on the roof, and we leave, or at least I do, as confident, able psychopaths, graduates, eager to make our way in the world. I've seen this class come together and mature through the past 4 years. And like fine wine and radioactive waste, we've gotten better as the years go on. Somehow we made it through SATs, achievements, and squat thrusts. Through the process of doing so, we've become certainly one of the best graduating classes in HSS history. For those of you who are hooked on phonics, HSH is an acronym for Scarsdale High School. Anyways, it seems fitting that one of the best classes in Scarsdale's history will graduate on its 75th anniversary. We've had one of the best senior class plays in history, and some of the best reviews and comments from the faculty and administration in recent years. You notice that I've repeatedly used the words "the best" to describe the accomplishments of this class. Although this may be because I have no imagination and a limited vocabulary, it's also because those are the only words that can be used to describe this class, the best. Before I leave, there's just one more thing. This is probably the last time that Scarsdale High School's class of 1992 will ever be together again. So before you all run off and celebrate today, just take a moment to look around you, remember the faces, and thank them for the memories. And I'd just like to say thank you to a few people. Our beloved class advisor, the Dapper Don, stuntman for John Gotti, Mr. Bruce Henry. I'd also like to thank my staff, Liz, Steve, Allison, Christine, Jamie, and the house officers and all the cabinet people. And one final thing, I'd like you all to keep in your minds today George Lucas, who could not be with us today. Thank you.
Graduating seniors, this is the time for you to savor the moment and to contemplate the future. The future. For most of you, college. You probably find it scary thinking about living in a room smaller than the school government office together with a total stranger, sharing a bathroom with 10 other people who don't even use your brand of toothpaste, and fitting all your personal belongings into 2.5 feet of closet space and 3 dresser drawers. As you prepare for college life, you will discover several useful life lessons. 1. Bed Bath & Beyond is the only local place where you can get extra long fitted twin sheets that match your quilt, laundry bag, toothbrush holder, shoe rack, and designer checkbook. Another is that the best set of matched luggage for a college dorm comes with the brand names Hefty, Glad, and Ziploc. Trust me on this. A third is the number of times you can turn your clothes inside out and backwards so that they will still feel fresh without laundering them. And yet another is that every roommate you will encounter has more clothes than you, gets more mail than you, receives more spending money than you, and never studies as much as you. Or so you'll tell your parents. Speaking of parents, here they are, cameras poised, proud to be part of this moment, ready to regale you with gifts, parties, and dinners out to celebrate the day. How well they know you and how well you know them. In fact, I recently conducted a survey among graduating seniors and their parents to see just how well each really does know the other. And what I asked was for each group to give me a list of the most often repeated phrases of the other. And here's what they came up with. Of students, you can hang up now, I've got it. Parents, are you still on the phone? Students, I'm 18 years old and can make my own choices. Parents, as long as you're living under my roof, ... meaning fill in your own phrase. Students, do you realize that in 2 months I'll be in college making my own decisions? Parents, do you realize that in 2 months you'll be in college making your own decisions? Students, nowhere special, just hanging out with my friends. Parents, where can you have been until 3 o'clock in the morning? These next few are ascribed to parents and have stood the test of time for at least 3 generations. 1, because we're the parents, that's why. 2, I hope you have children just like you. 3, you're not going to school dressed like that, are you? Not to be outdone, students have ascribed to them a few reliable catchphrases. 1, let me sleep for just another 10 minutes. 2, I don't know, the teacher doesn't like me for some reason. 3, stay out of my room. 4, I have no first period class today. And I have to interject here that by June this becomes, I have no first, second, third, or fourth period class today. And finally, there's the ever popular, that's not fair. There is a point to all this. The familiar and predictable are also the comforting and reassuring. You may have your school struggles and your family quarrels from time to time, but you have learned to adjust to them, to surmount them, and to move on. As you walk through the door of the next phase of your life, look over your shoulder a lot. You will find behind you teachers who believe in you, parents who love and accept you exactly as you are, and friends who embrace you. The supports of your outstanding education, your nurturing home, and your loyal friends will always be part of the new structure you will build of your lives. Remember, if you need them, your folks are just a phone call away. Just 10 taps of your finger, in some areas 11, can bring you the voice that you can predict will remind you to wear an extra sweater when you go out at night. On behalf of your parents, your teachers, and all the other important adults in your life, I want you to know that we love you and we are proud of you. Please enjoy the rest of your graduation weekend safely and soberly. And now I'd like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Richard Hipschman, who will certify your graduation. Dr. Hipschman.
Good morning. My role this morning is really very brief. I want to share a personal message, and I have an official function to perform. Personally, I join with each of you, graduate and family and friends and teachers, in sharing the happiness and pride that attends this special hour of passage. And on another personal basis, I would like to congratulate you, the seniors of 1992. I first knew you as big 8th graders at the then junior high school and have had the privilege of watching you grow from freshmen through sophomores through a very fine senior year. And now for my official duties. Mrs. Fox, I ask you, will these students in 1992 have met the requirements for high school graduation imposed by the Regents of the State University of New York, the Commissioner of Education, and the Board of Education of the Scarsdale Union Free School District.
They will.
Then I certify that these students, these graduates of 1992, are indeed graduates of Scarsdale High School.
And now the presentation of diplomas.
Todd Mitchell Aaron. Nicholas Morgan Adam. Jesse David Adelar. Philip Aderhold. Deborah Ann Adler. Samir Ahuja. Shalini Ahuja. Sylvia Ivan Andreychuk. Justin Pierce Annis. John D. Antiaris. Jacob M. Appel. Chisako Asakawa. Kimberly Ash. Ashley Nicole Badger. Kathy Bajoko. David Matthew Bartol. Allison Maria Bartolone. Michael C. Becker. Andrew David Beckman. Jonathan Claude Berg. Jonathan M. Bernstein. Christian Montague Bianco. Christiana Blaine. Sarah Lynn Bloomstein. Christina Ann Baniello. Heather Borden. Dina Ellen Baranque. David Matthias Bowman. Michelle Renee Brandt. Bernard Justin Brick. Andrew Michael Brookman. Lisa Jennifer Brown. James Preston Buck. Harry Meredith Berger. Brian Butler. Scott Douglas Cahaley. Matthew John Callahan Jr. Stacy Jean Callahan. Eleni Canellis. Jennifer Canator. Donna Marie Caro. Margaret Elizabeth Casey. Jean Marie Elizabeth Castiello. Ellen Kathleen Soretta. James Corey Cesarano. Lai Ki Chan. Suzanne Lynn Chapnick. Jody Chen. Katie Yan Yang Chen. Hing Ho Chu. Peter Dongjin Chung. Anthony Mark Savali. Daniel Benion Clayton. Stephen Eric Cooper. Catherine Ann Kukris. Bruno Cleaver Diathedi. Alex Peter Derizens. Kevin Alexander Dam. Walter Ivy Delp. Adam Sean Delvecchio. Andrew Harris Dillon.
Jonathan Diskin. Peter Doko. Jamie Donat. Seema Irfani. Marco Ferrone. Teresa Carol Filardo. Tal Finkenberg. Benjamin David Fishback. Ryan Luke Bradford Fisher. John Andrew Fitzgerald. Sean Patrick Fogarty. Paul J. Fontana. Jonathan Kevin Friedman. Galila Friedfertig. Adam Friedman. Andrew Russell Friedman. Jamie Lynn Friedman. Yuka Fujimori. Amanda Rachel Ganem. J. Adam Garf. Howard Craig Gertler. Dean Michael Giazzi. Paul Matthew Giazzi. John Gilmore. Joel Andrew Glazer. Michael Norman Gottfried. Jason Jordan Golden. Michelle Leslie Golden. Laura Renee Goldfarb. Alexander Parker Goldman. Matthew Adam Gould. Eric Keith Grant. Allison J. Gregg. Lee Gross. Peter Emmerich Gross. Julie Bess Hassan. Michael Lee Hershenson. Mohan Gul Hira. Yu Hirakoshi. Michael Adam Hoffman. Petra Hufferkova. Danny Wei Ming Shah. Jenny Ichin Shea. Christopher Cowan Hudgens. Ursula Mary Husby. Terrence Peter Heider. Hiroshi Ichikawa. Ryo Ito. Vinish Jain. Richard Jeremy James. Monica Zoe Janis. Brian Timothy Jordan. Michael Allen Caden. Emily Ann Kalmanson. Daniel Mark Kasov. Ross B. K. Young Sung Kim. William H. King.
Ryan Matthew Knopp. Ari Kono. Douglas Scott Krakauer. Rachel Marion Kravitz. Drew Alexander Crystal. Joanna Miriam Kronline. Lauren Adria Crone. Wendy Merrill Curzon. Heather Hendler Lapidus. Lauren Beth Lasher. Janet Lee. Donald Pierpont Blair. Jacob Oren Levitt. Christine Liao. Donna Lieber. Stephanie Elaine Lieberman. Karen J. Leibowitz. Juliana Lima. Trevor Daniel Lipman. Daniel Litowitz. Brian S. Lowe. Teresa Longatano. Daniel M. Lopez. Obed Barak Nuri. Daryl Elaine Lowenthal. Roger Lucas. Christine Elizabeth Lynch. Vicky Madias. Gurian Manber. Sarah S. Manley. Anthony Joseph Moresco. Thomas F. Marks. Frank Angelo Masiello. Samlamina Altina Massaquoi. Secunda Angela Massaquoi. Claremont Paul Maton. Robert Howard Mayer. Julie Lynn Meehan. Seema P. Mehta. Daniel Miller. Gideon Mendelson. Amy Beth Merson. Claude Eric Meyer. John James Mezzacappa. Eric Mark Milano. Benjamin Milday. Robert Mark Mirabelli. Christina Moglia. Brandon Monclair. Naveed Mutabar. Jennifer Ann Morgan. Timothy Dennis Mosbleck. Stephen Gerard Mulcahy. Mio Murayama. Ikuko Nangano. Sanjay D. Nayak. David Winslow Neal. David Greg Newstein.
Benjamin M. Newman. Daniel Michael O'Brien.
Meredith Eileen O'Brien. Ayako Okawara. Carrie Alicia Anjichek. Jonathan Evan Oranger. Karen Pace. Christine Mary Pagan. Jennifer Nicole Pantelidis. Wanji Park. Stephen Joseph Pastor. Judith Eve Perkins. Rebecca Bernstein Perkins. Espressa Perleshi. Farah K. Pervez. Nicole Lisa Pomerantz. Angela Christina Prisco. Linda Carol Pio. Joshua Barnett Rabina. Stephen Andrew Razies. Candace Melody Rechtschaffen. Mark Timothy Resnick. Eliza M. Ray. Christopher Mark Richards. Nancy Jihe Rim. Deborah N. Roche. Dean Robin. Lars Patrick Rogers. Mary Bridget Rogers. Austin Howell Rose. Sharon Andrea Rosenthal. Jennifer Y. Ross. Anthony Thomas Rusciano. Joseph Sansone. Jamie Michael Santo. Yoshiaki Sawa. Craig Shatton. Aaron David Schlechter. Janine Schoen. Robert Schwartz. Matthew D. Schwartz. Melanie Ann Seiden. Victoria Lynn Sewell. James Patrick Sheehan. Danielle Valerie Shelov. Kenneth K. Shea. David Siegel. Marla Ann Siegel. Pamela Hillary Siegel. Beth Ann Signori. Julie Beth Silverstein. Jess Simkai. Shoshana Deborah Slotnick. Brendan Javon Smith. Kyle Ann Smolin. Beth Leah Sobel. Catherine Sujin Sohn. Jason A. Sokolov. Jia Sun. Ho-Jun Song. Adriana D'Souza. Jonathan Michael Stahl. James B. Stammer. Eric John Stegich. Jeffrey Stone.
Russell Lawrence Stram. Jason Mark Strongen. Hidehito Suzuki. Yasuyuki Suzuki. Ayako Takada. Elizabeth May Talley. Clarissa Kar-yi Tang. Jennifer Sinhu Tang. Jonathan Scott Taubin. David Allen Tenenbaum. Jessica Dale Tenenbaum. Jennifer Tang. David Jonathan Tesler. Evan David Thayer. Matthew Thomas Timberger. Alexander John Trotta. Giannis Alexander Cyrilakis. Rio Sukada. Yukiko Tsutsumi. Jun Uyara. Dan Toby Vogel. Eva-Lisa Von Enken. Daniel Brian Walsh. Mary Christina Wasak. Esther Ann Washburn. Takeo Watanabe. Allison Diane Weinberg. Brian S. Weinstein. Stephanie Weinstein. Alyssa Jill Weiskopf. Lara C. Wilkins. Monica Yin Wong. Elizabeth Wood. Ilana Mandy Wylosh. Mark G. Wyman. Yuki Yamabe. Titania Jean Yao. Peter Adam Yaverbaum. Kenji Yonida. Miho Yoshioka. Norman Young. Amani Shapar Zaman. Andrew Eric Zeman. Michelle Zern.
Can we get a mic? Hello? Okay. It is now with great pride and pleasure that I present to our parents and guests present the graduates of the class of 1992. Will the graduates please rise in preparation for the recessional?
The good times
And I'll take with me the memory to bring my sunshine and the rain. The hearts who say goodbye to yesterday. And I'll take with me the memory to bring my sunshine and the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Joe, is that it?